check. All right, what could I possibly have forgotten this time? Ripley, any ideas? It's always something. Audio, switched over to the right audio thing. Microphone, looks like it's microphoning. You look like you're staring off, unaffected by anything. Switch this thing over to this thing. It's gotta be it, right? Through the air, across the ocean for the first time ever. I think we did all the things. Flashback, memory, don't know the words. Sometimes you start like nerds, but you fall and you think that you'll find the notes, but it doesn't float. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting time after time. If you turn, I'll be there. I'll be in the bushes, creeping on you all the time. Creeping on you all the time. Do 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 do. Children behave. That's what they say when we're together. Patrick Prowse, you're the 101st Patrick. Space Goonie 42, you're the 42nd Goo. I know you intended to end with a 0. Anyway, let's go with the real intro. Did I do this right, Ripley? Ah, yeah. Shotgun full of confetti. Hey! Still really bright on this side of the room. Why is Fox is like practically in the dark over here compared to... Is it just me? It's probably just me. Probably just need to do a white balance. But, wait. Sound. Sync. Okay. Adjusted a bunch of the settings, so things should be synced a little bit better, regardless of my ability to add RAM to the computer. Today we're just going to go with some water because also, yeah, it's just Canadian winter skin, but when the summer comes around, it's not going to change. Some days it'll be completely red and I'll be like, it's hard to draw like this. And then the next day, not the next week, the next day, jet white again. Jet white, because that's a thing. Rough booty. So yeah, did some quick roughing things out to start. Because I actually got everything set up so early this time, but like every other time, it's like every other time. You think that it's gonna be fine, and all of a sudden, half of your desk falls apart in your hands. And with your head in your hands, you see it through, but don't speak. I know what you're thinking. How can half your desk fall apart like it's leaking? But Don't speak, I said. I know you're good. I know you're real good. I know. But when I got the desk, I think I might have told this story on the first stream after I got the desk. It's an awesome desk, yeah, because I remember like forcing the camera around so that we could see the desk. But it's like a corner desk. It's got like the main desk area, then it's got a little shelf thing that goes up to 2 shelves. At the top of the shelf, we've got a little stage with a curtain and an alien creature in a nice dress. That, if you checked out the Instagram, one of the "Hey, we're going live soon" pictures was that. And the shelf in betwixt is where the printer, scanner, whatever else that thing does, is, and some toys and pencils. But below the main deck, way down on the bottom, there's a little shelfy type area. It's probably where you're supposed to put your, I don't know, your PC box. I don't have one of those because I'm macking it up. But I put my feet there. Actually, I put this thing there when I'm not using it, and then I put my feet all over these wires, and this little table deal is filthy come Tuesday. But then, betwixt the decking and that foot area, there's one of those useless... yeah, it looks like it's on there now. One of those things that, I don't know, if people do use it, I still can't comprehend how. It's never ever felt like it's been remotely properly positioned to use. Yeah, I haven't started drawing yet. This is thinking ahead. I know I talk too much, so that's why I did a little rough. So this will be mostly doing ink stuff. I'm gonna do some fancy black ink lines this time round. I think that's what I'll do, and then I'll put the color in after because I can do that with these markers a little bit. The water still causes trouble. But yeah, that stupid keyboard tray, I was like, well, this is dumb. I'm gonna have to take this off like I've always done with every desk I've ever gotten that has the keyboard tray on it. And then I thought, you know what? Since I'm not gonna use it for a keyboard tray, there's actually quite a bit of room under here. I'm gonna use it as a little shelf. I'm gonna put, you know, one of those shelf organizer tray things on there. Foxotic, how's it going? Holy snaps. It's been a while since you've been foxing around. Looks weird to start with bug fur right away, but that's what we're doing. But yeah, I decided I put that on there, and then also there was just the right amount of space for the mixer that the microphone runs through before it goes into a USB microphone, which that then runs into the computer. It's a whole lot of wires. It's great. Oh god, this fly's face is disgusting. And it was a secondhand desk to begin with. So that shelf was already just barely on there. I put some fresh screws in it, but it's just press board. So, you know, that only lasts so long. Eventually, a lot of those fibers around those holes give way, and then the thing goes everywhere. But hey, why didn't you get wood glue? I don't know. Lazy, mostly. I do know. Lazy. Is it a fox on my crotch? Oh, on my couch, yes. What's going on with my crotch? Yeah, I made there's a little short film. Oh, you definitely have to check that out over on the YouTube, the No Such Thing as Grown Ups YouTube, Foxotic. The short story of the little short film of this fox is Moxie Fox, Tara, who I do the No Such Thing as Grown Ups podcast with, and who sometimes is on here. I think you were around during one of the episodes she was here, or you at least talked to her in the chat. Anyway, she brought up, she was talking about a film she was working on, writing whatever it was about a little fox, and just got joking around about, hey, if you want it to be a feature-length movie, just have a sequence where the fox like just watches TV. Just have it be like the Fireplace Channel, because I mean, it was just Christmas when this happened, and I'm just like, I fully was like watching the Aquarium Channel on my mom's TV for the longest time, and at the family Christmas thing, they just have the Fireplace Channel playing. It's just like, people love this. People are watching this Fireplace Channel like crazy. So like, just do that. And again, just as a dumb idea, like, don't actually do that. And in the mix of that conversation, I was like, hey, shut up. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to make a whole 40-minute movie, whatever feature length has to qualify for, like a 42 or 50-minute, I think maybe it is. I'm going to make a feature-length movie of just a fox watching the Fireplace Channel. And I started to, and I just got too irritated with myself, and I was like, I just can't. I can't just have a fox watch a fireplace and both things just loop, doing nothing in particular for an hour. Oh my god. I'd like to say I would rather watch the Fish Tank channel than Christmas Puppies, but I'm pretty sure if somebody put on Christmas Puppies, I'd probably just keep watching the Christmas Puppies. It was like 50 puppies coming out of the presents and just destroying everything. Yeah, I guess I probably would watch that. There was another thing on, and I don't even know what was going on, but like my brother's girlfriend's kid was the one explaining it. So I don't know. I trusted her as much as you can trust a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, whatever she was. But it was just a guy, and he was just like sitting there staring at the camera forever. But it wasn't a channel, it wasn't a show. It was like, I think we were listening to YouTube music. My mom just had YouTube Christmas and whatever music playing. And then all of a sudden, the music was gone, or maybe music kept playing, but this guy was just kind of there. And then, but I wasn't really watching it, and the kid was like, oh, he did this now, and then this other thing happened. Like, this is still happening? What? How long is this guy? I was like, this is just an ad, though. How much money does this, like, 5-hour ad cost? Because it's, like, 5 hours long. And also, I don't know if it was for an ad for anything. Now that I think about it, I think that was just it. Like, hey, like a Mr. Beast or one of those streamers that are just like, I just got a pile of money, I'm gonna do weird stuff with it. And again, like, I definitely would, if I had like, thousands of extra dollars, just to be like, I literally have nothing that I could do with this money other than, I guess I could give it to charity or wacky project that I will force on everybody in some weird way, like I'm U2, like I'm a Bono. And yeah, then I definitely would. And I know that I would, because that was the purpose of this little fox short. Anyway, I forget what it's called, but it's on the YouTube. Anyway, like 8 minutes, a little more than 8 minutes, like 12 minutes before the stream started, as I always do, pull the little tray out a little bit, turn on the mixer. Mixer's not quite turning on, jiggle the power cord. All right, it's starting to and I managed to have the mixer in my hand when everything else just went boom. And then that little organizer tray, I Mac tacked it to the tray itself, so it didn't go sliding around. It stayed where it was. It hit the ground with a thunderous applause from itself. Yay, we did it, it said. And every single thing in that organizer tray, thanks to the bounciness of the plastic, I guess, it just like a game of perfection was just like, oh, cool. That's just everything everywhere. None of it in the tray. None of it in the tray. Ah, so many tacks. So many tacks. So many just little sharp things that need to be dealt with now, because it'll be dark later and I'll forget that I left God knows how many random sharp objects in the carpet waiting. So, as always, frantically getting everything cleaned up so that I could do the stream. I'm actually semi-surprised that like the chair isn't fully in front of the camera or some other weird thing. Game Palmer 703, Robo T-Rex. I don't... Oh, that's what I do. I've got a crazy story, Fox. If you want to sit, if you want to, actually, I was going to say if you want to sit back. Here's what everybody has to do. I'm going to need you all to slide a little bit forward on your seat, because I'm going to need you at the edge of your seat for this one. Try not to fall off. It's a roller coaster ride that has been going on for like 2 weeks now, I think. I really want to know why Game Palmer said Robo T-Rex, though. I'm just looking around here, and I can think of like 1,000 different reasons. Like the robot T-Rex that's over there, but it's over there, and you can't see it. You can't see it. Palmer Gamer Palmer. Game Palmer 703. But anyway... yeah, and I still made it on time. Super tempted to go grab that little robot T-Rex. But as we discussed, okay, why? How do I get this pen to just work? Why is it being a crazy jerk? Nicolas Cage doing karate. So last week, we discussed the fact that some people in my building were going crazy. And I mean, normally, you know, that's a thing that happens. It was slightly different, but not quite, only in that it was a different person than it was last time, like months and months ago. That was just at the edge of her life, like just screaming, I don't want to do this anymore, but you can't stop me. I'll never hurt myself. I'll destroy everybody else before you. I have a back tattoo of Jesus and Satan walking together. Like, okay, cool. Let me sing into this dog's face. All right, that's happening. Hey, you're kind of getting a little molesty with that girl. Please stop touching her. And then she did, and it was weird. So, skip ahead to this week. And see you later, Fox. I do use Discord a little bit more, but not much more, only when they make me use it at work. But yeah, watch the YouTube version of this later if you want to hear this story. And I'll see you around. Have fun playing your Spyros and whatnot. So... how did it start now? I'm already mixing it with last week's adventure in my head. Oh, that was an earring. That's what that ruff was. Oops. And I treated it like hair. There we go. Let's not get carried away. Let's get her plugged back up on the scene. But anyway, basically last week, crazy lady was going crazy, all hopped up on some kind of pills, as people do. And kept saying, like, I'm getting out of here, I'm moving out of this place, I hate it here, blah, 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 blah. You know, they forced me to live up in this tower. Like, who does? I felt like I had to like beg to move into this place. And you're like being forced to live here? That makes no sense whatsoever. And, you know, I hate to be somebody who like sits in an ivory tower and judges people, but I'm up here in a tower. Like I'm literally in a magical little castle tower. It's not ivory, it's kind of whitish, with some red lights. And sometimes you got to make some judgments. And by no means am I actually saying like this is a hilarious story. I'm gonna make it funny, not necessarily on purpose. It's just a thing that I do. Um, but it's really it's you know these stories about these specific people are actually just very sad. Like it's just very sad knowing that it's like you definitely need some help that is beyond my means and my comprehension. You're clearly aware of where to get that help, who to call, what to do, blah blah blah. You've done it before, and you know I'm just a guy who wants to go to sleep. So that being said, the oh yeah, that's what it was. So I must have been here working with my headphones on, so I missed most of the craziness this particular day. When I started to hear things, I heard something along the lines of like the one lady from the other day yelling something nonsensical, and then the other guy from my first stream about moving in here who was like freaking out and thought that I gave him an uppercut and crushed his jaw, scraped his jaw, and maybe stole his and or broke his phone. And I'm just like, no, I'm the guy that said it's probably in your apartment. And did you get in a fight or murder somebody? And you said no, and there's no dead bodies in your apartment, and therefore just go get some rest and you'll be fine in the morning. And then he did, and everything was more or less great. And as near as I could tell, he was, I don't know, I assume meeting with his sponsor or whatever, like doing the whole AA thing and taking it serious, and you know had his job back again, and that's great. Like seems like all your cylinders are being banged on over here. So he was the other one that was yelling like like shut up, like you're gonna get us in trouble. Like this guy's my age. The lady looks like I've been calling her an old lady. No offense to her, she is probably also my age, but I don't know. Um, so whatever. They're being fairly loud at this point. I'm guessing I missed some more craziness because they were upstairs at this point, and usually the craziness starts at the downstairs, and she just screams the whole way up 3 flights. But I don't know. Anyway, when this particular screaming fit, whatever loudness started, I was like, okay, like this is it. Like no more going and saying, "Hey, is everybody okay?" Like now I'm deciding, do I call the police or do I call the landlord and have him come and like, you need to come and witness this, because police show up to stuff like this all the time in this building and others. And then they're just like, hey, well, you seem to be doing okay now. You're not screaming and freaking out. So if you could kindly be okay and blah, 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 we can leave you be and don't bother your neighbors. And then that person freaks out after the police leave. And that's the tale as old as time. Circle of life. In the Maritimes, sometimes. Oh, this fly is disgusting. And as I'm trying to decide, I'm just like, oh, it's getting worse. Like I need to do something, but I'm also kind of having a panic attack and freezing up because suddenly, this, I was gonna say somebody starts booting on the door. No, suddenly like a big booming voice was like, thanks for the sub. Do do do. Subbing it up. Dee 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 dee. El Guapo's here. Um, fully distracted myself. So yeah, this voice is booming away like, open up that door! You better open that door! I'm kicking it down! Like, okay. And I'm like reaching for my phone, like I'm definitely calling somebody now. Because there's not enough of it. You have to farm too many insects, Matt, to get enough. Chitin. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then I very quickly realize, oh, that is the landlord. The landlord's here, and he's threatening to beat the door down. Because I don't know what he said. Just like, I'll kick the door down, like it's my door. I can do that, kind of, or something like that. Where I'm like, okay, I guess everything's okay now, or is it worse? What's happening? And keeping in mind that my landlord, he looks like Julian from the Trailer Park Boys. He's definitely quite a bit bigger than me, and I've only seen him at the gym, and he's quite a large guy who clearly works out quite a bit. So he could definitely take out these doors, no problem. So he's just like, you've been warned, like open up this door, and all I can hear is yeah, I burnt some toast. I burnt some toast earlier. I just burnt some toast like a minute ago. I just burnt some toast. So clearly they must have been smoking something or other in the hallway, I guess, upstairs, as they do, as they've also been screamed, hey, you've been warned, you're doing it again. I can see you doing it. One other day, it was just the super, and he was literally just like, like, you're lucky I'm dealing with something else much bigger than this right now. There was some kind of, building actual problem. It's just like, you, like, out of the halls, go outside, blah, 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 blah. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, hey, come on, buddy, duh. But then as soon as, like, that, the super was like, no, like, seriously, these are the rules. Like, you can't just do whatever you want. And he, like, fully just swore, like, yelled something crazy at him, where I'm just like, oh, you're just garbage. Like, you're just garbage. And again, I feel more bad for him than I hate him, because it is just like, it's not that hard to not be complete garbage. We all got to be some level of garbage at some point in time in some days. But as far as just being like, hey, what are you doing? I'm just going to be full-time garbage. All right, that's not something you should want, you should aspire to. Like, yeah, but no, I'm just going to do that instead. All right, cool. No, but the few people I've mentioned that he is Julian, they're just like, you really expect him to have, to pull a rum and coke, especially in the car. I was like, especially when I met him in his car, I'm just like, this car kind of looks like an office right now, and you definitely need to pull a drink out of here. And I think he might have had a sports bottle of water, which we can pretend. So, whatever. He doesn't care about whatever the smell is at all. He's just like, you're done. Like, you two are out of here. And it's like, it's two separate apartments. Like, that's it. And he was just like, what? Like, first kind of laughing, like, like, no. As dumb teenagers often do when they're getting the attention that they've been looking for from the teacher. But then it's like, oh, there's consequences. Oh, please don't. But please. And he very, very quickly went through the denial. I want to say denial, anger, bargaining, DABD. I don't remember the rest. And then acceptance. But whatever it was just like, no, this isn't happening. And this part is funny. All right, this part is just straight up funny. There's no other way around it. Especially if I could have seen it, if I could have seen this person yell this at Julian, and the look on his face, but purely based on my Batman sonar and knowing the layout of the building, I have to assume it played out like this. I can only see what's out my peephole, and it was happening beyond the peephole. He's yelling like, no, for real, like, oh, like, and then just like swearing at him as he went down the stairs. I guess like he stayed up around here and must have been making his way to the edge of the stairs, watching it go down. And he yelled at him, at the landlord. Once he realized like this is it, and he was like, "No, the paperwork. You'll have the paperwork in the morning. You guys are out of here." And he's just like, "Well, you can't. You got to give me at least like 3 weeks. Give me a month." He's like, "You're out of here. Like I'm done. Like I'm done with this. Like you do this all the time. Like I didn't even do anything. What?" It's like you guys have been yelling like for days straight. This one can't even stand up. You're out of your minds. On purpose. Like on purpose. So landlord gets down the stairs, and genius on whatever pills he's on yells, "Yeah, well, why don't you shove your ass?" And then a long pause because he realized he used ass too soon. What am I shoving the ass into? That's the place where it's supposed to go. Oh no, what do I do? And so nervous that they can hear me, but like again, the tower is magical. It's kind of, off the side, even though I think she's up there, but I don't think there's place up there, even though it sounds like I can hear an air mattress moving. But yeah, he yells, "Why don't send him?" I apologize if children are watching. Turn to your parents and tell them that they shouldn't be. It's Twitch. Anything's possible. Every other Twitch channel I've ever seen is nothing but swearing. Nothing but swearing. And very mean people playing video games. He yells, "Go shove your ass up your pussy." Good job. Good job. Good save. Great save. You didn't know where to go with it, so great, excellent save. You're good at this. You're good at words, Ricky. You're good at words. So, I imagine Ricky and Julian yelling at each other. Julian doesn't really give in too much. He doesn't fight back. Just like you're done. Like that's enough. Stop it. So the next pause after up your pussy was when he's looking down the stairs, and clearly he had, his windows don't face out the front like mine do, so he can't see all the police cars. So he doesn't know that the police are already here. He doesn't know that the landlord brought the landlord and the police. While I'm deciding, should I call the landlord or the police? They were both already here, and that was great. So he yells like, "Oh, you brought the cops," like as in like, pff, like you big baby, like. I don't know, some people are screaming like maniacs in a place that I own. Yeah, of course I'm going to bring the cops with me. So, so he gets slightly quiet after that. And then everything is just more or less quiet for a little while. I'm just literally just sitting here just like, what do I do? What do you do with it? The cops are there. And these guys are there. I don't want to get involved, but and you just lose your mind for a little while. Like, what do you do? What do you do? And again, that thing was like, that save was pretty genius. That was kind of hilarious that I'm like, if I was the landlord, I'd be like, okay, I don't know. The only other thing being that I am sitting here going like, he was actually doing pretty good. If not for the fact that this lady, I guess, must have had a good couple of fistfuls of whatever it is, Oxycontins. I have no idea. Nerve pills, they call them. And that he was like, cool, yeah, I'll share those. So they were both just on pills for, a few days. And he got caught up in that. So now they're both kicked out and whatever. So I keep looking at the window, and eventually the cops are gone, and it's still quiet. And I'm like maybe the cops took them. Maybe they were just like, well, you guys are getting pretty crazy. Like, yeah, you got to come with us to fill out some paperwork or whatever. Like, who knows? And then, I don't know, a few minutes after realizing that, I could hear some stirrings, and I was like, okay, somebody's still here. And then I see the lady, she leaves, she walks down the street, and I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know why, when she's in this building, she's just like, crazy ragdoll. Her body just kind of gives up, and she just screams. But as soon as she's outside of this building, just like, do-do-do-do-do, jaunty and good to go. So I see her go on her way, like, excellent. Hopefully she goes to whatever place she's going to stay at and stays there. Because I don't even know. Mostly I'm thinking, oh God, here's what I know about basic math. If you take a crazy person who's being crazy, right? And then you come along and you say, hey, stop being crazy. No more of that. And you're punished. The punishment doesn't start for a few days though, but stop it. All right. Don't be crazy, you crazy. And away you go. That person goes. The authority, the one thing they were mildly afraid of, but they also told to shove a thing up a thing. Oh, there it is. What was I doing? Math was my. Yeah. If you tell them to not be crazy anymore, that's just flicking on all the crazy switches. That's what that is. Hey, don't, like, again, go to a playground and scream at the kids, stop playing! Don't play on these! They're gonna just spitefully play on everything harder than they've ever played on anything in their lives. Because that's how humans work. And especially if you're hopped up on whatever, yeah, you're at a different level of crazy where what you're told doesn't matter. And all you're hearing is go crazier. Just go crazier. So, crazy lady goes for a walk. Feel mildly safe for a minute. For a little while, I have no idea. I've lost all track of time. Really should have went to sleep instead of recording this, but because I know that at around 12:30 exactly, she just started stomping around. The dude, at whatever time this was, I could hear, like, I don't know, maybe he was trying to pack, maybe he was trying to destroy his apartment. There was a few moments of just like bang bang slam, like that's probably definitely some cupboard doors being pulled off, right? Like that's definitely some of his own stuff being smashed to pieces, because that's what you do when you're angry, you break things. And also on pills. If kids are watching, in spite of the swearing, don't eat prescription pills. They're somebody else's, especially if they're somebody else's that you just got from some random old lady. So there's some of that noise for a bit, and I'm gonna say it gets quiet for a minute. The noise, I'm gonna say, genuinely sounds like somebody's actively maybe trying to get their life together. What does that sound like through, diagonally through a floor and other apartments? It just sounds like, instead of smash boom crash, just like ta-tink, ta-tung, ta-tink. Things being stacked and Tetrised into place. Maybe. I don't know. That's how my brain works. I naturally assume people are organizing and cleaning up after themselves, even though we all know that they don't. There's only 6 of us in the world that do that, and everybody else is going, what? What do you mean I left 16 coffee cups behind me? How is it possible? I just drank 16 coffees while I wandered around and never ever used a garbage can in my life. But I don't know, if you say they're mine, I guess you're right, but I'm not going to pick them up. That seems nuts. I might heat those up later. Always a coffee cup on the mantle downstairs. Like I said, in the midst of what sounds like not going crazy, let's just call it that, not going crazy. I'd like to believe in moments when it doesn't sound like somebody's going crazy that they're getting their life together, but maybe it's just a little bit of sleepy time, just a little bit of, I'm pretty tired from going crazy. I'm just going to sit quiet for a minute. There erupts a mighty no. Awesome. This is going to get worse before it gets better, Chief Wiggums. It sure is. So whatever he was trying to do suddenly fell apart in his hands. Much like when the tray of the desk fell. Yeah, I also went, no! And that's me picking things up and getting ready to do the rest of my life, because that's what you do, right? Not so on the 3rd floor. It was a, guttural Tarzanian no, and then something gets slammed. Then a door gets like slammed open, which is terrifying when you hear that sound, because it's like, that was a loud opening of a door. That's kind of hard to do sometimes. And then he yells at me, at you, at everybody, but mostly the people in this building. He yells into the hallway throughout the whole place. What did he yell? Yes. Part of his classic save from before. And again, children, cover your ears. Patrick, cover your mouth. He yells, and I picture just a Hugh Jackman sound recording booth physicality of just, you pussies, you flags. Now, of course, he didn't call everybody flags. There was no L in his flag that day. There was no L in his flag. But that word's not cool. It's less cooler than the P word. I'm just like, all right, cool. That's fine. You're just gonna basically scream out that you hate women and some hate crimes. Awesome. And then, like, he topped that off with something along the lines of, like, I can't believe, like, why don't you call the cops again or whatever. It's just like, and I think collectively through the building we were all like, yeah, we will. Like, yell 2 more things, and one of us is going to call the police again. And then he went back into his apartment and probably thought about how crazy that was. And then, yeah, he was mostly quiet for the rest of the night. He probably fell asleep from all his pills. And then the lady came back. And she got a little rowdy for a minute, but mostly it was just kind of like stomping around, perhaps some music playing, whatnot. Good times. That's a crazy week, Curtis. Oh, Sleeping Fox. No, Space Goonie. That wasn't the whole week. That was just one day. That was still just one day, one night. Maniac days, like maniac nights, more often than not, are crazy, not hot, in a lot of terrible ways. Terrible, terrible ways, Jeannie. So then, when does our other? Is that today? Do we skip ahead to today? Last night. Last night. So yeah, it was like two nights ago, or whatever it was. I genuinely don't remember what day it is anymore. So yeah, I think it was Sunday night. They were told they were getting kicked out. I think I heard a cop say, you'll have like at least 6 days or something like that. I don't even know. So when you get kicked out of a place and you're desperate for a place to live, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do, Pat? What do you do, Space Goonie, Game Palmer 703? When you have no place to live, you're down to your last few days, if not weeks, in the place that you live now. What? Must be so many options, right? No, nothing. Nothing is what you do. You eat another fistful of pills. You spend most of the day sounding real happy. All right? Yeah, this is today. So most of the day I can hear, like, again, the two that are getting kicked out, they're coming and going. They're kind of laughing, like, ha ha ha. Every time they run into somebody, like, we're kicked out. Ha ha ha. Oh my, like, we're a mess. And it sounds like basically everything, every noise that's happening from within the halls, it sounds like just the Three Stooges having a I don't know, a difficult time, like just a bunch of Pixar toys trying to get from the downstairs to the upstairs, but there's a bunch of wacky rules in place that only they know about and nobody else can see and or are affected by. But I do know that everything that they need to do is at the toppest volume possible, and with a lot of emotional outbursts. So anyway, like I said, most of the day, happy noises, laughing it up, do. The consortium of four, let's call them. There's like the two being kicked out, and there's another guy, and then some other guy, and they all live upstairs. I don't know if the fourth guy was her boyfriend or just some other fourth guy that also lives up there. But at one point, I look out the window and I see them all like do. Wizard of Ozing off to, I don't know, get supper, I guess. I'm just like, what is going on right now? They're definitely not doing anything to deal with their problems, which is getting out of here because that's my problem that I need dealing with. But somehow it's just like they just went from what I would see as like destitute to like, hey, arm in arm, let's go have a good old time. For old time's sake, like, when have any of you had any good times? When have any of you had any good times? Again, I still go back to the horror movie that is Trainspotting, and it's just like, at what point do these characters have any fun other than like, well, let's do some bank robbing? Like, that seems like the best use of their time, not bank robbing, but some stealing, whatever they did. Was the best use of their time, was the least terrifying, because everything else, like when, I don't know, whatever it is, that first scene or the first real shot of just like, hey, we used to go to this dirty abandoned area and tie off our arm and then just sit there, and it's just like, it doesn't look like you're having a good time. And then it shows like, well, but I'm dreaming this, like an upside down baby, and then I'm climbing through a dirty toilet, like, huh? No, thank you. No, thank you. That's none. You still. This movie is terrifying. So that's, again, I don't know what they're doing, but at a certain point, it turns from, hey, we're having an arm-in-arm dinner, to, And I mean, this is literally, it goes from like they leave the building, they're all happy. Come in the building, one guy goes up, second guy, I guess, goes up, third guy is like stuck with the lady who is just screaming. Again, just like, nah. What? Why? What? Why? What? Why? And she's like, go get my boyfriend. Like the boyfriend that you were screaming about who was garbage for so long. Now you just my boyfriend. All right then, somebody go get her boyfriend. I'll be in here setting up recording gear and doing my own version of weird, dumb things that don't involve screaming at other people, for the most part. Or slash, hey, you want to scream your problems, scream your story at other people? Get yourself a computer and a camera and do it all day long. Do it all day long. There's 1,000 people. It's like a whole section that's called Just Chatting, and they turn on the camera and they just chat at the camera. I don't know. Maybe I should switch mine to that and just be like, hey, I'm just chatting, but I'm also happen to be drawing as well. So at a certain point today, again, this is all jumbled up at this point because it's too many. There's no beginning, middle, and end to this story. It's just things. It's a series of unfortunate events. So yeah, it was just last week I told you the lady was on the stairway and she fully was like trying to hug, did hug, maybe grabbed some breast area of a girl in the thing. And I had to be like, yeah, no, you can't just touch people. You need consent to touch people. A lot of us need our bubble. Don't touch people. And she was like, oh, yeah, like, cool, I get that. Today, I hear, like, just some noise. Like, again, she's just loud. I'm like, okay, I think she's just loud. They're still kind of in their happy mode at this point. And within their happy mode, hey, Moxie Fox. You missed the other Foxotic. In their semi-happy mode, this is right before they all went off and had a great dinner or whatever they did. It's just the guy and the lady who are being kicked out. I can hear them, and a third voice which just sounds like, oh, okay, now I need to listen in case I need to run out there and help this person because they don't sound like they realize who they're talking to. So this poor girl is just trying to be helpful to the crazies, like you do. She doesn't know that I'm done with this. I've given up. And she's just like, oh yeah, I can help. She's like, you know, and you hear the lady saying like, you know, like, can you help me? Like, I need your help. And the help was to get her keys. And she was saying the same thing the other day, like, I need help to get, to work my keys, basically. Like, no, that's not how this works. If you can't work your keys, you're not allowed out. So like, that's, I don't know, man. Keys aren't that complicated. So again, I can't see this. This is purely based on my mind's eye, but it sounds like she gets this girl to dig through her purse, I guess, and find her keys for her so she can get into her apartment. Meanwhile, the other guy is still there. Like, why aren't you helpful? What's going on? Why are neither of you are useful? Again, whatever these train spotting pills are, they make you useless to the world, and it doesn't look like you have a great high time, like a Degrassi special. So blah 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 blah. She eventually has her keys. And she's like, oh, good, like, now I have my keys. I can get into my apartment or, like, get them in the apartment. And then the other guy's just like, oh, like, you need, whatever they said. She's like, yo, you were over here, like, waiting for somebody somebody sober to help you get your keys. And she's like, oh, like, I wasn't waiting for somebody sober. I was waiting for a Christian. And she's a good Christian. I need somebody Christian to help me out here. Like, what? So from there, from that little magical spot, the guy decides, I'm out of my mind. I might as well throw a bunch of gas on this book burning. And he's just like, how do you know it wasn't the devil? Like, what? Like, you're over here like, thank God or whatever, but what if it was the devil? Spooksy, what up? But she didn't take the bait on that, even though she drifts back and forth between, earlier she did say something about just like, yeah, like for Satan, like, why are you saying these things? So whatever, that was that whole series of unfortunate event. Oh no, it's not. The terrifying part. Why I was listening, why I was like, should I go out there? Do I need to go out there and dropkick somebody? That's why I do it, Spooksy. It's the impressive and confusing hour. It's a little bit fun, it's a little bit glower. We'll tell weird stories that go downhill, but we'll draw a fun picture and you'll get your fill of bugs or dinosaurs. So yeah, the door is opened, or she has her keys in her hand and she knows how to use them now. And back to my reference image. But the girl is still there. Lost my place in the middle of the page. There we go. So yeah, like I was saying, so I'm still worried because it's like there's still a civilian out there in the crazy fields. Oh, dare I? Hard to go fishnetting and talking at the same time. So yeah, once she gets the keys, the guy asks the random girl for a hug. This is the world. This is the world. Somebody helped somebody else find their keys, and the adjacent dude says, well, to finalize this transaction of idiocracy, might I press your body against mine? It's not weird. I don't seem like a crazy hopped up person, do I? So thankfully, she was like, no. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, all right, yeah, that's fine. But you could still hear the, oh, that's not fair. Like, it's just a hug. Like, why? And then, but, she very quickly was like, anyway, goodbye. And before she went, though, what was mildly amazing, like I said, the lady who from just a few days prior was fully like hugging and fondling as best she could, reaching for the girl from down the hall. And she was the one that said to the guy, like, no, like zero tolerance on touching. Like, that's not how this works. And I'm like, well, those aren't the words I used. But that was my message the other day when she was touching people. Like, you can't just touch people. And she was saying it to him. Which was, I don't know, great. Like, great. Thankfully, somebody was saying that. But then the girl was gone. What does that say? Bling. Headshot. Thanks for, what was that, a follow? A follow or a sub? Can't see from here. Headshot, that's what you got. Thanks for the bling and the following. Ooh, that was a pretty good rhyme out of nowhere. And doing some fishnet stocking. Ah, shit. Should have flipped it. So in the midst of that, the girl goes on her way to God knows where. I have no idea who this person is. As near as I can tell, she must live in the building. So the girl goes, and they're still talking about it. Like, again, like, I'm in my apartment and I can still fully hear this. So wherever this girl went, she can still fully hear this. Like, the hallway is just a speaker for the building. It's amazing. Oh, I can hear him. I can hear him saying words right now. So anyway, he's just being like, "Hey, it's just I just wanted a hug, like whatever." Duh. And she's still telling him like, "Well, you can't just have a hug. Like, I'll give you a hug later." Like, brr. But he was fully aware because he told like immediately, like again before she's even gone, he's like, "Did you see that?" Like I was like, "Can I have a hug?" And she was like right away was like, "Oh no," like like that's funny, right? Like no, that's the saddest thing in the world. Like that's the saddest thing in the world. That means that you're probably kind of a creep. And once again, I don't know, that one doesn't have a denouement or any kind of like these ones. There's no story. There's just nothing. It's just such random occurrences of words and actions and noises that are just like even if I was standing there watching this, it's like they can't explain what they're doing or why. I definitely can't. You know what? Yes, I can. I can explain everything. Everything can be explained with random made-up metaphors and logic. But what all of that does tell me, and this is just me. I'm not a scientist, but it's not that hard to figure things out sometimes. The fact that both of them were legitimately asking for hugs, like not even like just like I just need a hug and I just need love. Like, all right, yeah, you do. Here's your problem. You're non-playable characters. You don't have a quest. You don't do anything. Maybe one of you has a job. The other one, I have no idea what your deal is. Other than everybody has their hobbies, their not even be like whatever that thing that they do. Maybe it is your job, but a lot of times it's something that's not your job, like doing stuff like this, some other outlet. I don't care if it's it's just like I go for a walk, I feed the ducks, running, jogging, painting. hunting, four-wheeling, whatever it is. Like there's, literally infinity of things to do in the world. And so many people don't. And when you don't do your thing, you get sad. That's human nature. When you're not doing the thing that you think you should be doing or want to be doing, you feel sad. That's why, people hate their jobs, because it's like, this isn't even a bad job. I would just rather be at the beach today or whatever. So him, for example, like I had a conversation with him and he fully said like, oh, like I'm a hockey player. Like, oh, cool. So do you play over here? Like, no. Do you play over there? No. When do you play? Like, not for like 15 years. Like, then you're not that thing anymore. And that's why you're sad. If you describe yourself as something and you haven't done that thing for 15 years, if you haven't done it for a year, guess what? That's why you're sad. That's why you're randomly angry and screaming things at people and eating fistfuls of strange lady pills. Like, it's not that hard of an equation to figure out. But again, some people, hobbies aren't encouraged, or hopes and dreams aren't encouraged. The lady, like she was singing and saying, like she literally was just like I'm theatrical, like I'm an actress, I'm a singer, I'm into all these things. It's like, wow, oh my god, like in one sentence you literally told me you have no reason, you shouldn't even have any time to be sitting on these stairs crying and being weird because you have too many other outlets that you clearly crave and hope for and love. But instead, oh, I don't like the angle of this at all. Too late. Too late. That's my rant on that Foxotic is missing. But it's simple. It's simple. If you treat yourself like a dog, you can reprogram. You can overcome or whatever. Like, I don't know if I said it here or just to the lady cutting my hair last time that happened, but when a dog goes nuts and destroys something, 90% of the time it's not because, excuse me, it was hungry for couch and it wanted to just needed to eat some couch, or whatever it does. It's usually, hey, I've got all this energy, I want to go do a thing, but I don't know how to say that, or I don't know how to get to that point, or I don't know how to anything. I just feel trapped in, excuse me, in this house or apartment with you crazy people. I don't even know what species you are, but here I am, trapped here. So if you're not going to take me out for a walk, then I'm just going to go nuts and destroy something because I don't know what this is inside me. It's like, it's just energy. It's just energy, dog. We all have it, and we need to do something with it. But we're all basically stupid, unprogrammed robots, so what are you going to do? Ah, yes. It's still a fly when you flip it upside down. I definitely feel like I should have other stories from the rest of the world. Other things happen. I promise they do. But then that happens and it overtakes. I don't know, if you don't write things down. Say TV talk. Meanwhile, in the land of television, I still don't watch much new stuff much of the time, but when I do, it's fantastic or terrible in this case. I watched the Nate Bargatze stand-up special on Netflix. Oh man. Every once in a while, I'll get him confused with some other comedian that I'm like, oh yeah, you're a monster. Oops. But it's not him. He's just, amazing. Just amazing. From beginning to end, within just a matter of minutes, I'm just like, how am I laughing this hard? We just got started. And I was barely even in the mood to laugh. Good job, Mr. Bargatze. Hmm. Quite a bit muddier than I thought it was going to be. Flashback, warm nights in a transporter machine. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Gina Davis. If you grow a cocoon and you fall inside, time after time, I'll be there, cut you out. I think you die in the end, 'cause you're a fly. But you're not supposed to even be a fly. Jeff Goldblum's eyes. Jeff Goldblum's eyes. That's why I do it. Can't even believe the songs that throughout the day I'm like, oh, I should get that stuck in everybody's head. That'll be fun. And then I don't. I've done it a few times at work. Just to find out, like, you guys at almost every job, you guys know about this, right? And some people don't, and then it's not stuck in their head, and then other people are like, oh yeah, no, I know and remember that. Thanks for ruining my life. I can never remember. Cops, they go down. They go down the street all the time. 'Cause the police station's just there. I could just walk over and say, hey, run over here as fast as you can. People are upstairs, a crazy man. Hey there, Rixty, police are on their way. This is my life, I live in a nice small town. And then you say, is that the police now? There doesn't seem to be any sirens around. It was the police now, looking for meth labs. While they're driving around. Do, 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 do. Children behave. That's what they say when we're together. Watch how they play. Are they doing Oxycontin now? Cause sometimes your picture fades time after time. Oh, that's what it is. Sometimes you picture me, you're walking too far ahead. You're wandering in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Oh, and we're back at the flashback part again. Really don't know that song. Flashback, warm nights. I think we're alone now. I think I'm a clone now. There's always two of me just hanging around. And Rixty plays his music for everyone on stream. Oh, I know what you need stuck in your head, Pat. You ready? Y'all ready for this? Oh, that one is perfect. Sometimes some crimes happen down my street, but those 4 or 15 cops are taking flight. They've got big sirens and big old lights, and they're ready to fight. Not really, though, they're just giving warnings. Just go home, it's a warning. Oh, you know what? Good chunk of my markers is in my backpack. Because it's a cool place, though they say it's getting cooler. The Meteor Man begs to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate. You know what, Pat? It's getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm. You might as well swim. My world's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it, and I never get bored. Hey now, Pat, you're an all-star. Get the game on. Go play. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get the show on. Get paid. All that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars will break that mold. Now that banging isn't on my door, but there is somebody banging on a door and yelling something. That's some real out banging. Alright, I'm gonna step out for 2 seconds, see if I need to call the cops. Oh, Ripley. Wonderful life of an imaginary cat. Look at you in your magical little booth. Can you even hear this in there? Your little sound booth. I don't know if you could hear any of that. Well, they weren't yelling at me. I clearly get to still not exist and say all these things and sing. But the latest story, if you couldn't hear that, was oh man, I don't even know. Don't know where she was yelling. Well, it sounded like regular crazy lady. Again, downtrodden, poor lady who needs, should get, deserves some help. I totally moved that light. Maybe it's better. Well, I'm not as blown out. Actually, all right, yeah, maybe that is good. I heard it was really like, again, like nobody in this building, I say nobody on that floor knocks on a door like a normal person knocks on the door. They only knock like they're trying to wage a siege on a castle is the only way to describe it. I have another audio description that I thought of. But yeah, what just happened there, I heard was like, give me my purse! And then I guess she must be yelling it at the guy who was like her friend who she's giving pills to all day. Now they're not friends anymore. Because, excuse me, your pill to friendship ratio, excuse me, doesn't even out at the end of the night. So she's yelling, give me my purse. And he's yelling, I don't have your purse isn't in here. And then a third random neighbor, possibly the girl who helped earlier, screamed out, shut up, bitch. And then the old lady yells out, why don't you come and make me, bitch? And she's like, I'll beat your face off, bitch. And then it's just like, oh, fine, bitch. Why don't you come out then, bitch? And I'm gonna assume eventually one of these cop cars is coming here. This just makes good sense, right? Like, where are they going? Where are they going if not here, right? Other than the lady who cut my hair last time was telling me stories about her building, which it sounds to me, which is like just down the street a little ways. Sounds like just as much havoc being wreaked down there. Oh man, but the other little audio story. I think I might have to reset this. I can see messages happening, but I can nay read them. Oh, there it is. Where's my restart button? Because sometimes, oops. Ah. Sometimes your picture fades, you get your game on. Go, hey. Time after time, only shooting stars know that rhyme. Seriously? What's going on here? I just want to load my chat. That is as Armageddon-y bloop is what it looks like that says, whoever wrote it. Oh, there we go. Seriously, I don't know. Oh, bananas. Bananas. I'm gonna look out the window and see if the cops are here. No cops in that window. Some lighting out of the way. No cops in this window. Nobody laying the boots to my car. Ah! Alright, just accidentally smashed everything. That's fine. That's fine. It's a total drama island. Ah, everyone keeps smiling. So anyway, the other little audio tale is a very simple one. Let's go crazy. Is at least once was the extreme version, but feels like several nights. And again, I had no idea. I just couldn't even figure it out for a little bit. 'Cause I'm just like, what is even happening? Because at first it just sounded like, oh, that's a drunk person going from like the bedroom to the toilet and back and forth, but they're like, "Argh." But eventually the sound was that. I'm like, who is that? Like this old lady is like, she's not big by any means. Like I'm pretty sure she's smaller than me. But at whatever hour of the night, the time would come where it sounded like, and I feel like this is a great description. It sounded like somebody was upstairs, when somebody's on the floor above you and they're trying to teach a horse to walk on its hind legs. That's what it sounded like. 'Cause it sounded like somebody was like, whoa, hey, whoa, whoa. Like, but they're not like holding the person up. They're just, whoa, almost maybe making sure it doesn't fall into something, but then getting out of the way and letting it fall into something because it's a horse. That's what it sounded like. And now that, I've seen and talked to this lady, and just like, this doesn't make any sense. Do you guys have a horse up there? It seems like you guys are teaching a horse to walk on its back legs. I'd say it was a bear, but it's too clip-cloppy. Yeah, I gotta offset that horrific fly face with something. So we'll put a bunch of heart stickers on the wall. And as always, splash some blue around. And then we take our water And sploosh that around because too lazy to cover a whole page with a marker. Also way too cheap to waste a whole marker on a background. Come on now. Backgrounds are for computers. Ah, that was the thing we forgot, Ripley. Once again, somewhere in this apartment is a ream of paper that's specifically just for countdowning. Because the meteor man begs to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate, oh, it's getting quite thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. My world is on fire, so how about yours? That's the way I like it, and I will never, ever get bored. Sarah, down here in the underground, it's only forever. It's not long at all. Most Smash Mouth songs seem to have a repeating theme of just the sun and heath and those things, those rhymes just being reused. The same as always, if I end up with the word in a rhyme, I immediately am just like, that's quite absurd. And then I try not to because I'm like, I've already got that always ready to go. And it's not, not especially clever. Because, yeah, that other song, in my head, I feel like it goes, also the Meteor Man or the Meteorologist, I believe, is also in their other songs. But I definitely don't know what the song is. But in my head, it's the same song. It's the Meteor Man begs to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. Water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. Because you might as well be walking on the sun. Boop, 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 boop. Might as well be walking on the sun. Because hey now, you're an all-star. Might as well be walking on the sun. All that glitters is gold, just like the sun that you might as well be walking on. And when I say, of course, all of the Smash Mouth songs seem to have this repertoire, this repetition in it. I only know those two Smash Mouth songs. That's it. I think the other one is... Yes, that is Smash Mouth, I believe, but it's not Smash Mouth, it's the Monkeys, I think. But my favorite Smash Mouth song is from the Shrek soundtrack, just like most of the songs on the Shrek soundtrack, only because there's two eel songs on there. Always an eel song on a Shrek soundtrack, which is great. And then, of course, the... what song is it? I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. So I took the last bus out to Clarksville. Put on a truss for my hernia somewhere. Somebody once left some paper around here. I know it was me. Thought there was some paper within reach, but get your paper ready to play some countdown before I go into silent mode and hope the crazies don't go crazy. all the innards to the underside of the desk are on top of the desk now, so it's chaos. It's Chaos Incorporated. I also have the iPad here. I could easily probably write, and I have the keyboard. I could type them on the screen. But let's go old school with paper and play some countdown. If you are new to the stream, you're floating around out there and wondering what's happening now. You just drew a sexy lady with a fly head. That's one thing we do. Dinosaurs and fly heads, or just some other things in between. And then we also steal this British, or part of this British game show, where I will randomly find 9 consonants and vowels, and I'll throw 30 seconds on the clock. That's right, there's a clock. And, speaking of which, my headphone. You try to come up with one word. Come up with as many as you want to read on your own piece of paper. I only want to see one. I want your longest word. Longest word wins. Most of you know how it's played. Even if it's played out. Alright, I'm going to start with a vowel right away. Ooh, let's see if this dark gray is dark enough gray. E. It's not even. Somebody once told me the next letter is S. It doesn't rhyme well the best. Now we've got an H, and next we've got an F. With the shape of a U on her forehead. Well, the U starts coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next letter is an R. 3 more. Let's try to get some vowels. I don't know why I don't just pick the vowel myself. I don't know why people don't stop slamming that door. And another E. Alright, that's 3 vowels. That's good enough. Unless one comes up. Oh, and an I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one more letter. Which is going to be a K. Alright, let me get my chat back up. No. Okay, get my chat back up. Anyway, 30 seconds on the clock to make those letters into a word. 30-second clock. One of these days I'll make a better countdown music, but I'm not a musician, so that's kind of the best I can do. Make sure to tuck back in. And now, present to me your letters. Give to me your words. Space Goonie's got a 5. What can I come up with? Maybe 5. Pat's got a 2 and a risky 6. Fresh. Oh, like a prince. Moxie Fox has got a 6. So if Pat's risky 6 is a word, there could be a tie. Or he goes with his solid 2, which I assume is. And Moxie Fox will take the lead. Like I said, I think 5s are the best. Shriek. Oh, it's like Shrek, except a real word. Oh, that's good. That's good. Pat's got furs, rush, kefir, as in the Sutherland. That's what I thought. Um, ooh, I feel like you've tried to get kefir past me before. But yeah, as we all know, it's just a weird, dumb word that Donald made up one day and decided to stick with. Therefore, Shriek takes the win, and it's also quite appropriate to fishnet fly theater. Anyway, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. And by tomorrow, I mean Tuesday. I of course mean Tuesday. I of course mean Tuesday. And any day now, something else and things. But on Tuesday, that's when we play. Oh, that's when we play. All right, you little word nerds. You picture freaks. Storytime Jezebels who show up week after weeks. This is the end of today's tale. We've made a fly and listened to some whale hings. No. We listened to me fail at trying to rhyme how to end this show, but it's done, and it's time to go. And of course, you know that next Tuesday is when the time of the bat is the same as well as the channel. That was awkward and rough, very backwards in Yoda, but I meant same bat time, same past, same bat channel. Oh, Mona. Now I'm covered in colors, as happens with art. Go to the big camera. Oh, while this fox sleeps through his farce. 10:15. All right, what am I stretching for over here? Anyway, as always, thanks for the follows, all the newbies, and thanks for playing along. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's just a fancy camera. It's just getting banged around by my fists. That's right. App thanks and a hashtag good night to you all. Remember, it's no such thing as grownups.com. Tara just sent me the other half of the last podcast, so I'll probably get that up tomorrow night. Melissa, our friend, is on it. We have some improv fun, even though it's a little weird because I'm here and they're somewhere else, so there's a bit of a delay. And sometimes when one of us talks, it cuts out the sound for my ability to hear the other person. So sometimes I'm just like, hey, I'm just being an improv jerk and saying stuff because I don't know what you just said. Yeah, it's an adventure and a half. And I don't know, like I said before, now I live on the right side of the tracks. Like at first I was like, yeah, I'll just take this random apartment. It kind of seems like I'm in a bad part of town, maybe, but it's also next to a bunch of really nice parts of town, nice homes, nice cul-de-sacs, and whatever. But at a certain point, it was like, oh, these neighbors are just too nuts. I gotta get out of here. And it was. I'm still glad. Like this kind of nuttery is still contained a little bit. Whereas, again, the other place was like, I'm on the ground floor. There's just a big old window here. And I feel like if they get nuts enough, if they want to, if they want to Michael Keaton and get nuts, they could just jump through this window and just be in my living room. And I can't deal with that. And again, it felt like they were everywhere. And now I'm in the Tower of Judgment where I can look out all my windows and just judge. And at a moment's notice, push all my furniture in front of the door and cry while I call somebody for help. But and also Friday, me and Tara are going to be on the Shantymen podcast. So I'm not sure. I don't think that goes out live. Maybe it goes out live. We'll be doing that, and then plus hopefully we can get them to also flip it down, slap it in, and reverse it, and be on No Such Thing as Grown-Ups. But that is Victor and his sidekick. Let's call him Dan. Victor and Dan, the Shantymans, and they tell tales of their adventures. Like again, Victor is a magical, weird person who turned a theater into a church, a judo place, and opened a coffee shop. And he's slowly becoming the center of the town down there. And we're gonna jump in on that a little bit and get some of his stories. And I'm gonna take his half-hour podcast and I'm gonna turn it into a 3-parter. All right, he's either gonna edit himself an hour-and-a-half podcast, or he's 3-parting it, or he will have the audacity as a former biker, now judo church running guy. Does he have the audacity to say, "No, sir, you will stop talking now. We are done"? And I will, but I'll be like, but this is unheard of. But not really. People always. Oh, that was weird. All right. I don't know why I thought that Space Goonie was saying Sam, but Sam won't be there. Like, why was Sam supposed to be there? Like, wow, that would have been great, I guess. But we'll see her later. That like the next day. I'll see Sam the next day after the podcast. So that's fine. But I realized Moxie Fox is the one saying that Sam is the other guy, not Dan. But you have to admit, Sam and Dan, pretty close, pretty psychic. Also, I'm sure I've read it 16 times this week, different places on the internet. And it should have stuck in there. Either way, more podcasts, more videos, more things, always and forever, etc. And don't forget, if you are a Miramichi, maybe it's too late now, but there's Improv for Anxiety. Also, Victor is still connected to that in some way by offering up some space. But yeah, Moxie Fox and let's call her Moxie Space Goonie sister, run the Improv for Anxiety. So anyway, get yourself in on that. Give them some money. Go to those classes and have some fun. And we're done. Don't need to. There's no cat off to the side saying, "Can you make it? Stretch it a little longer." See, look, she's not doing that. She looks so unimpressed, and she's right. Ripples, roll those sweet credits, and leave us be done. Oh yeah, that piano means everyone can rest. Maybe it'll be quiet for the rest of the night. Hopefully I'm the loudest thing that's happening in this twilight. But I'm sure the crazies will take a fistful of crazy pills, and they'll scream as if Thanos is trying to kill their buzz. NoSuchThingAsGrownups.com. Podcasts, books, and more. Everyone have a good night. See some of you on the weekend. See some of you never, baby. And then I think you're alone now. I'm gonna turn the stream off and see you around.